Geez, I look like I'm 200 pounds. I'm actually only 165. It is dang cold here. I'm actually in LaSalle, Peru, Illinois, and I'm originally from Illinois. I worked on the railway most part of my life. One of the railways I worked at was agriculture, so when middle of summer would come along, I would take a layoff and I would drive an old Mack dump truck from I think it was 68, and then I drove a 71 Mack, concrete, recycled concrete, back to the yard. It'd be pulverized and all that. But anyways, yeah, so I finally got my license situation problem all figured out, and originally I was trying to get Michigan license, and I actually accomplished that. And as soon as I did that, about an hour or so after the DMV closed, my company shut down, and I needed something on the DMV shut down, and my company called me and said I got the wrong license and needed to do something else, and I'd have to make another appointment, which would put me into Friday, but I wouldn't be able to be tested until Monday, and I didn't want to leave the owner waiting, and then I've been out of work for 2 weeks, so I made a phone call to a family member and asked them if I could use the address, and I told them I'd pick up one of the bills, and they said, yeah, use the address, but just save your money. So I got a little lucky there. I mean, I am going to do something for them, but this when you get into this type of industry, whether it's a van or a big box truck with a sleeper or even semi-truck work, when you become a gypsy driver, it's all well and fine when you're out there and everything's going smooth and you don't have any worries and all that, but eventually stuff is going to catch up with you. Driver's license is number one. That's definitely going to catch up with you. You either got to in my case, what happened with me is me and my mom butted heads together, and we decided to sell, and she was going to go to Arizona, and then I was going to go to Florida. And what it accumulated was 4 days after I got down to Florida, my dog died, and a whole bunch of stuff just started happening, and I was looking for a way out. And I always liked driving. I don't like driving on small roads, city roads. I like being on the highway. I like seeing things, seeing the country and all that, moving at a good rate. None of that stop and go traffic. So I decided I was going to get into driving. And I bought 2 properties with an intention of one of them I was going to build on, and I never did, because I got into this driving. And I just liked it so much that I became a gypsy driver. It's just like pretty much living out of a truck. I mean, yeah, you're homeless, but you're out there making money. You're out there doing things. And the way I look at it, the longer I stay out, the better off I am on making money. And, you just don't think about it when you look at your license and be like, oh, yeah, that license is going to expire in a year and a half. I got time. It's August of 2023. Oh, yeah, everything's all good. But eventually them days is going to catch up with you, and that's about what happened with me. It caught up with me in a hell of a hurry. And I was driving for a guy that, before I got in with these people, they're going to have to get me out with a crowbar. I love driving for these people, but the last guy I drove for, he really gave me the shaft and renewed my license in an improper fashion. And I'm kind of lucky that these people actually kind of helped me out. I've been spending money like crazy, and it's not because of stupid things. It's because of a hurricane went through. Florida's only got one homeowner's insurance company, and one of my properties got annihilated. The other property was close to Pensacola. That was safe. But my property in Dade City used to have a lot of trees, and I'm gonna close these windows here. So the first hurricane that went through about 3 years ago knocked some trees down, and I went down there at Christmas time. I was driving for Tri-States, and I told the owner that I was going to go visit my cousin. So me and my cousin, we butted heads together, and we got a couple chainsaws going. We cleaned it up in about a day and a half, 2 days. But my other cousin got sick, so she didn't cook dinner. So me and him, we stayed out there, had camp. We were burning wood, and then we loaded up a lot of wood and took it back to his place so he could have his little fires and get-togethers with his friends and all that. But we was out there cooking on the fire and all that. And then a couple other storms come through, blew some trees down, and I either had him go out there or had a couple of my friends go out there. You know, it was like 6 or 8 trees. But this last hurricane, I got ransacked. I mean, there was trees all over the place. I had a garden shed floating in one of my floating into my property. I had a little fishing boat in my property. When I saw the pictures, it was still underwater. Well, it wasn't underwater like bad. It was there was standing water around. But the insurance companies, man, they ain't catching up worth a dang. So I had a letter from, I don't know who it was, somebody from the city. I had to clean up that property because everybody else in the neighborhood was cleaning up their own properties. So I had to hire somebody to go out there and clean up the property. And it cost me a little over $6,000 to clean up my property. And if I would have got out there and done it myself, I probably could have done it, you know, for a couple $100. But I just didn't, at that point in time it was busy here, so I figured I'd just stay on the road. And the guy gave me a quote, and then when the final came in and he showed me how much it cost, I was like, whoa, dude. So I wound up paying it with the understanding that my insurance company was going to cut me a check either like that day or within the week. But it's been, 2 months now? And I still haven't had anything direct deposited, and I've been calling, and they've been saying they're going to be sending it in, but I haven't got nothing yet. But they've been saying I'll probably get it before Christmas, but I'm running low on, man, I don't think I've ever seen my bank account this low. And when I left Florida to come driving, I had $8,000 on my debit card. Now I'm got $4.80 with all this licensing stuff going on and paying all this unnecessary bull. But I finally got my license all straightened up, and I checked the app. The safety lady called me and checked the app right after I hung up with her, and she had me back in service. Now I just gotta wait for a load out of here, hopefully going south. But if you're gonna become a gypsy truck driver, whether it's a van or a box truck or a semi truck, you gotta ask yourself, man, you gotta ask yourself a lot of questions. Are you gonna be ready for it when you come into problems? Because you will have problems. You will go a year or two with smooth sailing, and then something's gonna happen. You're gonna be driving for somebody, they're gonna shut down, and they're gonna leave you out in the middle of nowhere. And they're going to leave you 1,000 miles away from any of your relatives or even even your friends, you know. And eventually your license is going to need renewing, and then you got to deal with that, you know. And if you don't live anywhere, then you're not getting a license. You have to prove residency. Well, luckily, I had a family member that I was talking to last night. He said, dude, that's enough is enough. You know, he said on the phone, he goes, you ain't that far right now. You're up in Lansing. He said, you got to make the trip down, use my address, and get your you-know-what back on the road. And that's what I did, and thank God everything got cleared up. I mean, I was cleared up within probably about 10 minutes, because I came down to Ottawa, a small farm town. I didn't go back to Lombard. You know, I'm originally from Chicago, near Wheaton, and you go at the DMV there, it's like people start coming in 11 o'clock at night, setting up tents. It doesn't matter if it's 90 degrees out or 20 below zero. When you get in line, it's going to be a mile long when you show up at 7 in the morning. So I got all that straightened out, but now is about the time I'm thinking to myself about what my next steps is going to be. And it's either I'm going to get my residency in South Dakota and continue doing what I'm doing right now, or I get an apartment in LaSalle, Texas, or Johnson, Tennessee, or somewhere near Virginia, be the midway point for me between Florida and there in the shop. So I figure I'd probably just leave this video, post a video about this, because when I started driving, I first started off with a hot shot with a pickup truck and a 40-foot trailer hauling loads across the United States. And my intentions was I was going to do it for about 8 months to a year, and then I was going to give that up and I was going to get into property. But the people I was driving for, we had a couple breakdowns and they was getting into financial difficulty, and that's about the point where I started spending money, because I had to get motels on my own when a truck would break down, and I had to buy food for me and the boy, and started running out of money. And I got to that point now where either I'm going to have to take my railway retirement and take a chunk out of that to add into my road bank that I got, my over-the-road bank I so call it, which is a online bank for my debit card, or I'm going to have to sell one of my properties in Florida. And I'm really kind of leaning about selling one of my properties in Florida, because if I do that, obviously I can't live at both, even if I do decide I'm still going to build. And if I was to build, it's going to be in Dade City, so I'll probably wind up selling the one in Pensacola and use that money to boost me back up. Because in all reality, you can make a lot of good money. Even driving a van, you can make some dang good money. You can almost make the same amount that you can make driving a box truck, and you can get pretty dang close to what some semi-truck drivers is making too. Because with all the electronic log devices, they only averaging 400 to 600 miles a day now. So, I mean, you're not going to make exactly what a semi-truck driver makes, but you can get pretty dang close. But, yeah, a lot of the guys I've driven for, they either was in financial problems and they was still paying me, or there was only paying me partial payments, or they, you know, some of them wasn't even paying me at all. So you come to a point where you're afraid to say something to the company that you're contracted with, because you don't know if that owner has some sort of connection with somebody at the contracting company. Well, I found out this company here, man, they when they hear from drivers, they take action pretty dang quick. I love this company, and people I'm driving for right now is probably, they are the best I've been driving for. So I'm gonna stick it out, and yeah, I think probably the best thing to do is sell that one property in Pensacola to give me a little bit of a boost, and stick it out and build up my checking account by still delivering loads, but having that cushion from selling that one property. Because my railway retirement, I got with a personal banker, and they're working that money, so I pretty much don't want to disturb that. I'd rather keep that going until my mid-50s, early 60s. Because right now I'm 46, so I'd like to keep that going at least till I'm like 54, 55. But yeah, I figured I'd post something stating that I'm getting back on the road and everything's all good now. And yeah, I would definitely keep it in mind if you were going to become a gypsy truck driver, that something is going to happen. And it will. You know, when you're out here driving, like I said, you'll be good for a year and a half, 2 years, but something's going to happen with your license and other little squabbles in between. You're going to have to show proof of residency at some point in time. You know, I was at QT, Quick Trip, and one of the cashiers, because I was coming through here a lot when I was working for Fusion Transportation, so he kind of knows me, not by name, we're not like friends or anything, but he knows me pretty good. And we was talking, some lady overheard, and she go, "Oh, well, you're homeless." Well, no, well, yeah, technically I am, but technically I'm not, because I can take care of myself, I can take care of my dog. But lately, with everything that's been going on in my life, it's getting a little tougher. But in all reality, it's a choice, because the longer I stay out here, the more money I make. So yeah, it is like gypsy truck driving is, you know, technically you don't have a form of residency, but just keep all that stuff in mind when you go out there and do this type of work, that something is going to happen. So make sure you either have good standings with a family member or a friend. Because I do remember when I was working at Fusion, there was a kid, he sold everything up in Michigan. He sold his house, he sold his property, he went and bought a van. But he still was good standings with his mom. I'm not. A lot of my family I'm not good standings with. I still got good people in my family that I'd stand up for, and I know they'd stand up for me. But a lot of my family members, they don't care, and quite honestly, the way things is going lately, I don't care neither. You know, I got backstabbed by one family member, and 37 others take the side of the person that backstabbed me. But yeah, when you're out here gypsy driving, you gotta have some backup plans, and make sure you got your you-know-what covered. Because when things happen, it ain't going to be just a little problem that you're going to fix overnight. It's going to be a problem that's going to cost you 7 days. And in my case, during a holiday, it cost me dang near 15 days. So keep all that in mind if you are going to be a gypsy truck driver, that stuff is going to happen. And when it does, it's going to be hard. It's going to hit hard. And hopefully, if it does hit you hard, it's not going to be in the middle of the winter or the beginning of winter, which is below zero temperatures right now. It's going to hit you hard. Just be ready for it. But I'm out.